Ready, hunt!
Are these non-conference games funny in the scheduling because you don't know when you schedule them what they're going to be like, what you're going to be like 4 or 5 years out, and how this one's kind of shaped up?
Well, I think it's fair to say the ones that we've had, you expect to be great teams, right? I mean, look at through the years. We've had Alabama, we've had Oregon, we've had UCLA. Who am I missing here? We've Washington. We've been to, Miami, Florida State. So yeah, they're all great programs that traditionally have had strong teams. So when you schedule them, you know that you expect them to be a top 5, 10 team. And sometimes they are, sometimes they're not, and that's just. But when you schedule them, you're expecting that.
Do you feel like that grabs the kids' eyes when they see
Sure it does.
those names every year?
Absolutely, it does. The players are very aware of, how well other teams are doing.
Bob, are there any phases of the game that you think are more important right now as you kind of look at this thing, as we would call them, keys to the game?
Well, it's not to be boring, but it's always obvious, with the big returners they have. Special teams will be will be a major issue, and us in our special teams. Last week Tress punted the ball. I told you there was 4 of them inside the 15, 2 inside the 10. That kind of thing is always big. Our cover units were good. Field goals again have to be good, and then offensively having balance. Is a big deal, and taking care of the ball, and defensively kind of trying to take away balance, being great against the run, trying to get pressure and force them into, hopefully into some passing situation, try and get pressure, try and get them out of rhythm and try and force turnovers. But you'll ask me that next week and I give you the same answer. You've been asking me for 13 years and it's pretty much. But you gotta admit it's about right. I mean, that's how we try and do it.
Who's your kicker going to be?
It'll be on what?
On place for field goals?
Field goals, Jimmy. It'll be on the shorter ones. I'm really Michael Honeycutt's really done well the intermediate and longer ones. Yesterday he made all of them. A young guy too that's really showed up when school started. Eric Hosick is a young guy, freshman, that's really hitting the ball great. So I'm bringing them with us and keep kicking them in practice. And we, each of our team segments with the offense before they make a break after a certain segment, we kick one, kick a couple before, so they run out just like a game and hit it. And so those guys have been doing well. So we'll see how it keeps progressing. Kickoffs will be Patrick.
Is Hosick making the trip with you also?
Yeah.
So you're taking 5 kickers on the trip?
Well, I don't know, add them up. I'm not sure. Taking 1 punter and 3 kickers.
Well, Stevens, Honeycutt, Patty, and Hosick.
Yeah, there you go.
So you would kick this freshman who's never kicked down there?
Yeah.
In what situations?
I don't know, just if the other guys aren't doing well.
Is he a longer field goal kicker?
He's good middle to longer. He's got range like Michael Honeycutt does.
Do you yearn for the day you'll kick the same guy from 25 yards that you will from 45 yards or longer?
Would
that be nice?
Sure, but hey, these guys are doing. They're all good kids that are working hard at it. So and again, they'll do well, and so.
Bob, how comfortable are you?
Heck, I watched some NFL guys miss 45 and 48 yarders yesterday. So.
How comfortable are you that fix the problems at free safety, or is 2 weeks not enough time?
Oh, it's enough time. It's to me the issues weren't very difficult. So I think. But reason for you to say then how could he not have done it? Reason for us to say he can make that play. I've seen him make that play, and so, and also other reasons are he also made a lot of other really nice plays. Had a bunch of good tackles and and some other good plays. So I feel good that those will be handled.
Bob, you used to live in Florida. You spent much time in Tallahassee?
I have not. That was kind of one of those just kind of like me going to Stillwater last week. I kind of only went when I was made to go. So, you know how that is. And it's really from where I was in Gainesville, though, to Tallahassee was pretty decent ways, too.
You follow Travis Lewis on Twitter?
No, sorry. I don't follow anybody on Twitter.
What was your reaction Sunday night? I guess they told you about he's like. It's game
Oh, I
time.
didn't hear it till Monday, but I chuckled. I mean, what player doesn't think he's going to play? You know, that's not unnatural for a guy to think he's going to play, but that's not what the doctors will make that decision, not him.
Well, he seemed encouraged about playing next week, and I thought I saw one of your comments that said it would be a while. You have
Well,
any
I don't.
idea?
You know, everyone's going. I do not expect him to play this week. Ask me next Monday if it's changed. You know, that's not.
Are you encouraged that he might play next week?
You're going to ask me all different ways. I do not expect him to.
Next week.
Yeah, but
Okay.
now, you know, if doctors change that, I'll say something.
What about Jarvis Jones?
He's getting closer to possibly practicing next week. Now, we'll see, you know.
Bob, what's your reaction to those who say this is the biggest regular season game of the year in week 3?
You know, that can be debated. There'll be you know, there's been good ones already, and so you know, we'll see. You know, it's like for us, it's a second game. For them, it's a third game. There's a long year in front of us, but it's obviously, you know, a big game for us too, for sure. We both want to remain in contention to try and, you know, be a champion. That's what you got to do.
You've had some pretty dramatic finishes, is my point, in your time here. Winning the tiebreaker against Texas, I think 0-3, losing and still going to the championship game. There's a lot of football to be played.
Well, so yeah, and obviously, scheduling these type of games when you don't have to advantages you. Hopefully someone gives you, if you win them, credits you for doing so, for playing these type of games if you don't have to. Well, and let's face it, a lot of people aren't. So if, you know, to us, you know, I was asked that yesterday. There's hopefully, if all things being equal, and you've played a tougher schedule than somebody, that you would get the nod. That, you know, that, and then if, you know, otherwise, why play it? So BCS is, in the way they, you know, equate everything, that if there's ties, then, you know, the team that's played a tougher road seems to be a logical, you know, way to vote somebody. But otherwise, heck, let's get rid of these games, you know. And I think it's, you know, it's great for college football. It's great exposure. Everyone's going to talk about your program and for a week leading up to the game. So there's, you know, and fans love it. Our fans love it. You know, we'll have a, you know, bunch going down there, and they loved having them here last year. You know, those are exciting weekends for when these people, Notre Dame comes here next year, and our fans get excited for. So it's part giving them something to be excited about too.
How well do you know Jimbo Fisher and this coaching waiting thing? He just so quickly turned around. Bobby had that great legacy. What are your opinions on him and what he's done there?
Jimbo's done a great job, and I've known Jimbo for a decent number of years. Have never spent a ton of time together, but have always respected, you know, his work going all the way back to LSU with Nick and for what he's done at Florida State and the job he did a year ago. So he's done a great job, and I read an article just last week or this week talking about how now the players understand what he and the changes he's made, and in the staff, what the players know now what to expect of them and what their demands are and how they expect them to play, and the players are reaching those demands. So they've had a big impact in a short time.
Bob, the road question continues to come up, and then a stat that has been thrown out there that I didn't realize is that you haven't beaten a non-conference road team since you've been here that's been ranked. Any reaction to that?
Well, no. In that, for instance, there's a lot of different reasons. You know, we go back through the years. One, people talk about roads is because we haven't lost at home in such a long time. So now it shows that, you know, they probably wouldn't ask that if you lost a bunch at home and on the road, then you just lost a bunch, you know. So at the end of the day, I think our overall record speaks for itself. And, you know, also, if you look at other teams' road record to ours, it's probably better than most. just guessing, not sure. And then I go back. Each year is different. For instance, your team isn't quite as strong as it has been, and you play a better team. Or 2009, we lost half our starters on offense. You lose your Heisman Trophy winner. You lose your first-round draft pick and tight end, this, that, and the other. It was probably a miracle we didn't lose at home that year, but we did lose a few games on the road. So it's always different why or what different reasons are. But again, I'm just betting our record's probably better than 80% of other people's road records. But you'd have to look that up.
Did you see that Louis Van Schaum in the Ohio State game? One of the big road wins they've had here. Did you see any of that? Do you remember that?
I've seen clips of it for sure, but remembering back to the actual time of it, no.
What's your perception of the players' interest level in all of the realignment stuff going on? Not even necessarily as a distraction, but do they follow that news? I mean, it does affect them or could conceivably affect them as soon as next season.
I think you're asking their level of interest.
Yeah, do they follow the news? Is it a big deal to them? Do you think they care?
I think it's close to zero, just because they have no hand in it,
What about you as coaches? Have you guys talked about it at all?
With the staff, very little, but me with our administration, sure, I've been kept abreast of everything that's happening.
Can you tell us what you're gonna do?
No.
Do you know what you're doing?
I'll let President Boren handle all those questions.